So it looks like they got a lot of action, man. There's a lot of news coming up. Trying to catch up to all of them, man, as best as I can. Let's get into it real quick. Well, it won't be quick. I'm trying to make it quick, pal. Whoa. Trafficking stupefires. A man of 34 years of age arrested by the SPVQ inside of Ontario. Oh. So SPVQ is the police of Quebec City. And they're saying they made it an arrest in Ontario. What is this about? As usual, you guys know I don't read these. Sometimes I glance at them. I did not glance at any of these today. I have no clue what these are about. So they're saying that the police of Quebec arrested a man, 30 years of age, in Ontario in link with trafficking stupefires. Now remember, police of Quebec, we have tons of investigations in Quebec City because there's the gang war raging on, the independents coming in together. Notably, at the forefront, the Blood Family Mafia versus the Hells Angels and their pipeline, which is their biker clubs and probably the gangs that are still working for them. And so here we have a surprise, Quebec police arresting someone in Ontario for trafficking stupefires. Jobin Goupy was there was a mandate for him since September of 2021. So I guess they are saying that they've been trying to arrest him for a while now. There was a manhunt going on for him. They finally caught him. I wonder if we even mentioned him before. I wouldn't know. At a certain point, when you cover so much, you can't even remember the names, right? It's just too many. Sleeping Joe, how you doing, pal? Gagnon Alain, comment ça va, bro? Mon frère? All right, buddy. So what is this about? They went to Orillia in Ontario to put the shackles on the man, they say. And the warrant was signed by a judge on the 6th of May, 2021. All right. We got the help from the Ontario police. What else do we have here? No, nothing more. That's all the information we have. Well, let's look at his accusations. He's facing 3 chiefs of accusations for possession of stupefires in the goal of trafficking. And he's suspected of having moved cane, M&Ms, and green plant. Man, I'm disappointed this is not in my... this should not appear on the screen. That right there. I gotta block them, dude. If you're CNN, NBC, and all that, you can talk about these all day, man. But not when you're a tiny channel. So it says that it's the 3rd arrest realized in Ontario by Quebec police since the beginning of this year. Interesting. The 3rd one. Wonder if we covered the other ones. Your grandpa doesn't remember. No surprise, huh? Me and my memory. DJ, what's up, pal? DJ, how you doing, buddy? I think I've seen you on the Loomis show, man. I'm always watching, man. I see my pals popping up, showing support. That's really cool. By the way, salute to Loomis and Bobby Bright, man, my bros. Always happy to watch you guys talk. That's my favorite part when you guys interact. It feels like I'm at home, We understand each other. All right, next one, guys. I'm telling you, today is dang, I wish I blocked that one. Guys, today's just tons of crazy news. Well, at the limit, very interesting news. Things in the underworld, tons of them. Look at this one. Puppet School of the Hells Angels. A biker condemned to 3 years for possessing the tool. Yeah, it was there on the screen. It shouldn't have been. Who is this man? It's Ryan El Ali. Oh, none other than a marauder. Here we have a colleague of Jean-Philippe Célestin, whose brother got killed like last year. Did it not? Poor guy. He was going to a wedding and then they popped him. And they were waiting for him. Maybe they were waiting for Jean-Philippe Célestin, but they got him. But you know how the underworld works? It's not a question of he banged his chick or something like that. No. This is a question of gang wars raging, one interest against the other. And why I'm saying this is that if you don't like Jean-Philippe Célestin, I'm talking about the enemies, we don't have a reason to dislike anyone. When you have a hatred for Jean-Philippe Célestin and you're trying to kill him, you inherit his beefs too, such as Mr. Ryan El Ali, member of the Marauders. So they're saying that he's been condemned to 3 years for possessing the tool. This is a tool that was found in his vehicle on the 29th of May 2024 last year. So Ryan El Ali, part of the puppet school or underling school of the Hells Angels section of Montreal, pled guilty on Thursday to accusations of that. Okay, good thing we get to see that the Hells Angels are, are applying diversity and inclusion. They've got El Ali. I heard about the Iranian inside of the pipeline too. Big name, but then for some reason he got jumped inside of the prison after he got arrested. We wonder what's going on there. And I think that their buddy, their buddy recently who was in Mexico, probably handling business in their pipeline, their very same pipeline, he got off. We just talked about it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That guy got popped. Well, that's the friend of that Iranian dude. I forgot his name, but that I mentioned to you. And that guy's connected to the Montreal Hells Angels. And that will mean there's a very high chance that he knows this guy too. They know each other. They run in the same circles. Here you have El Ali, 35 years old. That's the guy who got popped. He got arrested with the Glock last year, and he finally gets his sentence. This is what this article's about. But because he was already held last year, he only has, the time and a half thing. He gets to do 10 more months, and then he'll be out. There you go. Picture of him right there. Doesn't look too happy. And in the spring of 2024, the SPVM received information saying that El Ali was doing protection for the members of the Hells Angels and that he had a tool on him. What does that mean, doing protection for the Hells Angels? So everywhere they drive around, they need to have him around? I don't know, What does it mean? That can mean many things. What does it mean? That's your life. Your life is just to wake up this morning and follow this guy around. So far, that's all I can get from this. The 23rd of May, they followed him, and their observations had them believe that El Ali had a tool on him. Now, El Ali is a smart man. He's not following the trend of street gangs wearing a purse. I think that one would be a dead given, but for the cops. But he doesn't have that. He seems to be though walking, and I don't know. That's a funny way of holding your your pocket. Maybe it's just a cell phone, or maybe they saw that as that's what they're talking about. Their observations. Who knows? But here he is walking inside of a parking lot, and then they concluded by watching him, following him, that he had a tool on him. Look what they say. Notably, by the fashion, his right hand was touching an object in his pocket. Bingo! What did I tell you, man? What did I tell you? I observe, I read, and I underline things, and sometimes I'm spot on. There you have it. I promise you, I didn't read this article. I did not read the following sentence. I guarantee it. Take my word, buddy. I saw him holding his pocket like this, and I made a joke, but it landed. It did land. I couldn't have the exit because I thought maybe, sometimes you have your cell phone and you're checking your cell phones in your pocket, right? But but I guess my man here was really walking like making it so freaking obvious. Man, I guess if there's any lessons to be learned in this is if you're going to keep the tool in your pocket, which is better than the purse, in my opinion, then you shouldn't have your hand. You shouldn't have your hand walking with your foot, with your leg. I mean, together in sync. That's suspicious. Oh, they give you another snapshot, even closer. So that's it. That's all they need, man. Just to have your fingertips walking in sync with your leg. You're gonna have to let go of it if you're gonna carry the tool with you. 6 days. Oh my God, I can't show that. I get dinged. 6 days later, when El Ali was in company of Vincent Boulanger, the Hells Angel. Remember, we spoke about Vincent Boulanger many, many times. I think my memory's coming is a little bit, me. I think that this is buddy of Martin Robert. I think that's the buddy of Martin Robert right there. Hells Angels of Montreal, it says here. So, El Ali was in company of Vincent Boulanger. And then the members of the tactical squad of the cops intercepted the two men and they arrested them. And they found the Smith and Wesson. It says stolen from the United States in 2020 and discovered on inside of the vehicle when they busted these two. But El Ali, I guess that's what was in his pocket, a Smith and Wesson. No, no, wait a sec. No, 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 no. My bad, my bad. They found this one in the car. So what was that about? They were suspicious. So he must have had one in his pocket. I guess he had one in his pocket. You could almost see it going all the way up here, huh? So they got two. They must have got two because they said it was charged inside of the passenger side or something like that. Only El Ali is accused. His DNA was found on it. No surprise. It was charged. There was only one in the chamber. Well, if it's charged with only one in the chamber, is it really worth it to take all this risk carrying it around? Only one. I don't know. I think that you could have could have had more than that, or unless you can't charge more than that, I'd be surprised. I don't know anything about these tools, but if you're gonna carry one in it, might as well carry plenty more and make it a lot more useful. Because you miss easy, you're done. All right, next one. The investigators found in the glove box effigies of the Hells Angels, stickers, and all that stuff. A cell phone that does not need a SIM card. Well, they make it sound as if it's an intricate thing to traffic, but I think there is a new cell phones without SIM cards. They're called eSIMs or something like that. So for those who don't know, the older folks don't think like that. It's literally just normal technology these days. Probably gonna phase out the SIM card someday. They also found an object that prevents geolocation of the phones. Interesting. I didn't know that existed. So there's an object you can buy, a technical gadget that you can carry inside your pocket, I guess, and it blocks out the geolocate or interrupts or prevents the geolocation function on your device from capturing data. I don't know, man. I'm surprised by this. Of course, it's easy for this type of stuff to exist. I'm just mean the mechanism of how it works. I'm just trying to guess it, bro, but I'm no good. A little bit later, the investigators then searched his residence in Sainte-Anne-des-Plaines and seized the vest of the marauders and numerous objects, effigies of the Hells Angels, notably a shirt and a wine bottle. And then they put their hands on a stack of cash, and I don't know, they're saying on the stack of cash, maybe there was a note or they wrote it on it or a sticker, I don't know. But they're saying that on the stack of cash, there was an inscription that said, support nomads, New Brunswick. The section of the Hells Angels of New Brunswick. Now, this is interesting because one of the articles later on this show is about a section opening or about a section in New Brunswick. So it's very fitting to have this pop up here. So here, one thing for us to recall a little bit. Lately, I have not really covered it because it doesn't come out in the news much, but I've seen it mentioned a lot, the New Brunswick chapter. New Brunswick. Now, Quebec and New Brunswick, for all the outsiders who don't know, they're from America. There's lots of people from America. In Canada, there are two provinces that are very, they have a lot of similarities, okay? There's francophones in Quebec, there's francophones in New Brunswick. And the francophones, these are the two provinces that take the francophone seriously, if you know what I mean. So I forgot there's a name for those people in New Brunswick. I had it, I forget it. It's not coming up to me. There's a specific. They got a name for them. It'll come back to me. Someone will probably mention it. But why I'm telling you this is, you see the link. I'm talking about the demographics, the cultural link, non-criminal related between Quebec and New Brunswick, and then you see how it's translating in front of you. Support nomads, New Brunswick, right here, dead in Montreal bikers. So where do you think they got their? Seems like they're getting the Quebec bikers are close to New Brunswick. How fitting culturally that it's mishmashing like that. It's unfolding like that. It's not a coincidence. And here you got the effigies. I guess they seized at his house. All of this stuff, and he's not a Hell's Angel. But how much? But would he ever become a Hell's Angel if he serves a long time? I don't know. Well, you tell me. We're in Quebec. That's what I'm asking. Or will he have to leave the province if he ever wants to become one, and he'll be accepted in New-Brunswick? I don't know. But here we go. We got, remember the wine bottle mentioned in the article with Hell's Angels on it? There you go. I wonder what that's really about. Why do that? Purely for fun? I'm wondering. It's not like you can sell these in the store. Purely a vanity thing, maybe. What do I know? They seized this at his place. So all these Hell's Angels effigies. And he's not a Hell's Angel. They worship the Hell's Angels. They're underlings. So those who say that's not true, they're not Hell's, like these, because I know, you can always argue, not related to this article, that when you hear about the underlings of the Hell's Angels, I will always expect that one guy to come and say, no, it's not. They're not working with the Hells. They're not really part of the Hells Angels pipeline. They just work with them, Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Look at all these effigies for someone who's a totally separate club, who's just a biker on his own side, and he's just talking to Hells Angels. That doesn't look like it. That looks like, or they're a religion. It looks like you can be you're a marauder, but you're in the religion of the Hells Angels, right there. And they some not sympathetic. I'm not sure how you translate this. Then facts that are not very sympathetic. Let's say Ryan El Ali, a member of the defunct, so he was part of another club called the Crazy Idiot, joined the ranks of the Marauders the year of their creation in 2021. Since 2018, he was observed with numerous events of the Hells Angels, in company of members of the club, in licensed establishments, alcohol establishment, bars, and all that. So since 2018, the cops have him on their radar. They're watching him, and they're building up a story. And the facts unfolding in front of their eyes speak for themselves. There you have a picture right there. And this picture is from July 2022 in Ontario. El Ali has background that go back to 2011 for trafficking stupefires, assault on a cop or maybe a CO, who knows, possession of illegal tobacco. That one really pisses me off, not because of him, but because why do you think they got to do this? Because it's just too expensive. You say it's bad, but you say it's so bad, and you don't let people buy what they want. You remove menthol. You keep adding taxes on the vapes, making sure that people cannot make their own juice. It's not worthwhile. They have to get it at the store. It's all evil to you, but yet it's only evil as long as you. It's not a problem if you can tax it and make as much as you can, but it's evil. Which one is it? Which one is it? I see double speak. Thursday, El Ali pled guilty to the chief. Okay, blah blah blah. We're gonna skip that part. We was arrested. We know that. So the judge in the court. Here's a quote. Basically, the magistrate, whatever that is, he possessed firearms in the goal of protecting a member of organized crime. These are not very sympathetic facts, says the judge. So we can't really find any excuses for El Ali. So they seized it. Okay, interesting. So we got a Ryan El Ali, ex-Crazy Idiot, and now Marauders. Not a few years now. It's been 4 or 5 years. And you see, they can pinch you for holding your Glock like this as you're walking. Just like that, just for that, and your tattoos, they're allowed to say, you know what, I suspect you're armed and dangerous, and then he could come get your car. And then in your car, if you only have one round inside of it, you basically why get arrested for just one round in it? Might as well carry 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you're gonna hold it, and you hold your pocket like that. Next, again, biker sympathizers, the Darksiders. Now we're talking about another gang or underling club. The Darksiders, sympathizers of the Hells Angels, have a new hideout. Where, buddy? Huh? In New-Brunswick. So let's listen and see what they're gonna give us.
Difficile de le manquer, le nouveau quartier général des Darksiders près de la route 134 à Nigadou. La présence de ce groupe
Hard to miss, is what she's saying when you see this.
de motards ne gêne pas le maire de la région.
The group of bikers are showing off. They're not afraid of showing where they're living, but I think she said it bothers the mayor.
On se connaît toutes, petite communauté tissée serrée, c'est le garçon d'un tel ou la fille d'un autre
We're a very tight-knit community, he says.
Ou le gendre de quelqu'un qu'on connaît.
Les Darksiders sont installés dans leur nouveau local depuis quelques semaines déjà.
Quand un groupe...
So it's been, just a sec. It's 2 weeks ago this video came out, and she said that they've installed themselves it's been already a couple of weeks.
Qui veut juste s'associer, puis se rencontrer, puis fraterniser. Tant il y a aussi longtemps qu'ils vont faire ça, sont les bienvenus à Belleville.
So Daniel Guitar, the mayor of Ville de Belle-Baie, you notice that's New-Brunswick, the city towns all in French right there. He's saying that as long as they coming here and they're lost my English. You know what I mean? They're hanging out. As long as they're hanging out together and being brothers and chilling, and he sees no problems with that.
Comme n'importe quel autre groupe, que ce soit
such as any other group.
Des groupes de VTT, des groupes de motoneige.
Such as any other group, like a group of snowboards or whatever. There's that snow. What's the name of that stuff? That snow device. That it's not a motorcycle, but it's like a thing that it's like a motor. I don't know how to explain it. A snow plow, or it's like a. That's just sorry for my poor poor English, but it's that thing you think about. It's like a motorcycle for snow. Really poor way of putting it. He's like it's like a club of motorcycle for snow. Like this mayor is he's a clown. I'm sorry, man.
Des groupes de campeurs.
He's been hanging out with them.
Dans la communauté, il y a tout de même des inquiétudes.
They came to say hi. He says hi to them all the time, and he's all good with that. He's all good with that because he does not see what's behind all of that.
Où ils sont logés, c'est moi qui avais le terrain avant. Puis j'ai peur pour la valeur de nos maisons.
The guy says, I'm afraid. I think he said, I'm afraid for the value of our homes after this.
Vite à Nigadou, ouais. J'étais surpris un peu. À entendre parler, il semble avoir beaucoup de drogue.
Yeah.
Donc, le fentanyl, n'importe quoi, ce que vous voulez, là, je trouve ça malheureux.
See, he's saying he's worried about the stupefires and stuff like that, But, I saw it. Remember I said what kind of people they are? There was a word to describe them. Acadiens. There you go. These are... you have Quebecers in Quebec, the francophones. Over there, well, they're francophones. They sound freaking the same, but, they have their own accent. But I just want to say, like, you wouldn't look at them and say, hey, Québécois, you're going to say Acadien, those are the people,
Mais j'espère que c'est pas un groupe
Snowmobile, thank you, Anthony Serrano. That's it.
de ce genre-là, là.
Ils sont affiliés avec qui, eux autres?
Non, c'est pas.
Les Hells, peut-être?
They're affiliated to who, those guys? The Hells?
Pas d'affaires par ici.
No, they have no business over here.
Ouais.
On a eu des mauvaises expériences avec ça déjà.
We had a lot of bad experience with that already.
Les Dalton.
Le maire n'est
He said the Daltons? I'm not sure what... Like, is that a motorcycle club? Or maybe I misheard what he said. But I heard Dalton. But here you go. Darksiders, North Shore.
pas convaincu que les Darksiders sont associés au crime organisé.
Vous allez un peu fort en...
Au crime organisé.
The mayor says he's not convinced that the Darksiders will be affiliated with organized crime.
Vous allez un peu fort en disant que c'est associé.
You're going a little bit strong by saying that these are associates.
Moi, j'ai pas de preuves qu'ils sont associés.
Me, I got no proof that they are associated.
C'est un groupe de motards.
There's a group of bikers.
Puis,
So they're just buying motorcycles. That's it. It's just buying motorcycles. They rent a local. They pay all this money. They just want to wear costume. That's it. That's the whole goal of this.
ils ont décidé d'élire domicile chez nous. Ils étaient
They decided to come live here with us.
à Bathurst avant d'établir
They were in Bathurst before establishing here.
à Belleville. J'ai pas vu de grabuge ou de problème avec ce groupe-là à Bathurst.
I did not see, with this group, when they were in Bathurst, I did not see any problems being caused by them over there. And so I have no problem with it, basically.
Je vois que ça va être la même chose ici à
I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be the same, I think it's going to be the same thing. There's no problem there won't be any problem over here.
Belleville.
L'ancien repère des Darksiders a été la proie des flammes en juin dernier.
The ex-bunker of the Darksiders was the victim of a fire in June of 2024. Do you think that was an accident, guys?
Et la police de Bathurst traite toujours l'affaire comme un incendie criminel.
And the police of Bathurst, since last year, are still considering this after a full year. They consider this a criminal fire, not an accident.
Rappelons que le repère des Darksiders de Bathurst est l'ancien repère des Red Devils à
And let us remind, she says, that bunker of the Darksiders, I think she's talking, probably talking about the one that got caught fire. That was before it was Darksiders' bunker, it was the Red Devils' bunker.
Shediac ont été incendiés le même jour, le 23 juin 2020.
Whoa, wait a second.
Incendiés le même jour, le
Wow,
de
wow,
Bathurst et l'ancien repère des Red Devils à Shediac ont été incendiés le même jour, le 23 juin 2024. À ce moment,
So, I'm misunderstanding something, but I'm confused here. It was set on fire the same day? I'm not catching what she's exactly saying.
rappelons que le repère des Darksiders de Bathurst et l'ancien repère des Red Devils à Shediac ont été incendiés le même jour, le 23 juin 2024.
Oh, okay, I get it now. Sorry. So the Red Devils bunker and the Darksiders bunker were both set on fire on the same day. Do you believe in coincidences that two bunkers would be set on fire on the same day? Well, the mayor here, he's completely he's completely clueless, or he's had one too many beers with the fellas.
À ce moment-là, la GRC nous a confirmé que les Darksiders et les Red Devils seront des clubs de motards à surveiller de près.
C'est pas des individus qui veulent simplement se réunir.
Now the cops telling you that these are not individuals that are just simply wanting to reunite, and have a little party here. That's not the end goal in all this.
Et faire de la moto, disons, le dimanche.
It's not some group that just wants to hang out on a Sunday. That's not the whole purpose of this.
C'est des personnes qui s'associent et des personnes qui s'associent avec ces types d'organismes-là ont été accusés, puis on a vu des exemples, qui ont été accusés d'infractions liées aux drogues.
These are people who've been, some of them have been accused of stupefires.
Et à la violence dans le passé.
And violence and all that.
Les Darksiders sont considérés par la police comme un club sympathisant des Hells Angels. Et non
So by the cops do consider them sympathizers of the Hells Angels.
pas un
By the
club
way, this guy was it him? I think this is the guy who got a bounty of $250,000 on his head
école.
by
Il faut faire
organized crime.
une distinction. Une distinction. Sympathisant des Hells Angels. Et non pas un club école. Il faut faire
Okay. I gotta make a correction because he corrected something here. He's saying the Darksiders are not an underling school. For me, they're all underling schools, whenever I see their names. But just a correction, he's saying they are sympathizers. They are not underling schools. That's a key difference, he says.
une distinction. Il y a un club officiel des Hells Angels qui sont les nomades du Nouveau-Brunswick.
There's an official club of the Hells Angels in New Brunswick, and they are the nomads of New Brunswick.
Il y a aussi au moins une section des Red Devils. Qui sont les Red Devils? C'est le club officiel mondial des Hells Angels.
So then there's also the other club that's there in New Brunswick is the Red Devils, and they are the only official. Like, let me just recap this just to be certain here.
C'est le club officiel mondial des Hells Angels.
It's the official worldwide club of the Hells Angels, the Red Devils.
Au Nouveau-Brunswick.
In New Brunswick.
Vous avez également les Darksiders. Au
In Brunswick, you equally have these Darksiders.
moins une section des Darksiders. Et il y en a une aussi dans une province voisine, en Nouvelle-Écosse.
And the other chapter of the Darksiders is in, she said, Nouvelle-Écosse. Is that in Nova Scotia?
Les Hells Angels ont donc un chapitre officiel au Nouveau-Brunswick depuis déjà plusieurs années.
Il y a
So the Hells Angels already have an official underling club in New Brunswick for many years already.
au moins 5 ou 6 Hells Angels du Québec qui ont abandonné leurs couleurs québécoises.
So there are at least 5 or 6 Quebec bikers who were Hells Angels who abandoned their flags or their patch
Pour prendre les couleurs des Hells Angels nomades du Nouveau-Brunswick.
in order to become Hells Angels nomads in New Brunswick. So they quit the Quebec Hells Angels to join the New Brunswick Hells Angels. There's 5 or 6 of them, he says.
Entre autres, un qui est probablement le plus connu chez vous, Emery Martin.
Sur ces images, dans les réseaux sociaux,
So he
on
says
voit
one of them that must be really well known in your place, I guess in New Brunswick. He's talking to New Brunswickers, you know, he's saying especially one, notably, and his name is, let me just get the name for you.
sur ces images.
Les couleurs des Hells Angels nomades du Nouveau-Brunswick. Entre autres, un qui est probablement le plus connu chez
And one who's the most well known in your home in New Brunswick, which is
vous, Emery Martin.
Emery Martin.
Sur ces images, dans les réseaux sociaux, on voit des Hells Angels aux côtés des Darksiders dans la région Chaleur lors d'une promenade en 2022.
So there's a video in 2022 in New Brunswick. You see Hells Angels with their friends riding.
On va les voir dans l'entourage.
We will see these guys in their entourage.
Ils vont rendre certains services,
They will do certain favors or render certain favors,
mais pas nécessairement, je me répète, impliqués dans la criminalité ou dans le trafic de stupéfiants.
but not necessarily implicated in the criminality or trafficking of stupefyers,
Du moins, pas tous.
or at least not all of them.
Un autre indicateur qui permet d'établir un lien entre les Darksiders et les Hells Angels,
Another indicator to show the link between the Darksiders and the Hells Angels.
ce sont ces deux lettres MC
It is these two letters, MC.
sur leur veste.
Seuls les clubs qui ont l'approbation des Hells Angels
Only the clubs that have the approval or approbation or I guess say the approvals of, so only the clubs who have the approval of the Hells Angels
ou qui peuvent avoir un lien ou qui peuvent être sympathiques à la cause des Hells Angels
or that could have a link to the Hells Angels or be sympathetic with them
portent les lettres MC.
can wear the letters MC.
Les policiers confirment que des Hells Angels étaient présents au quai de Petit-Rocher l'an dernier, aux côtés des Darksiders. La police régionale de la BNP
It just says the Hells Angels have been seen with the Darksiders.
est bel et bien au courant de l'arrivée des Darksiders dans la région et veut se faire rassurant.
Que nous avons les outils pour gérer les situations.
So we have the tools to take care of the situations. Blah blah blah. You know the rest. There you go, guys. Interesting, huh? Good stuff learning there. So you see New Brunswick, Quebec Hells Angels leaving to New Brunswick, becoming nomad there. That's one thing we learned from this. And there's also Darksiders from Nova Scotia that had their that just opened the bunker in New Brunswick. And what else did we learn? We learned that there was a bunker for the Darksiders and the Red Devils. I guess 2 separate bunkers that were burned on the same day last year, 2024. That's a summary of what we just watched. Next one, arrest of a man 37 years old in a stupefier network in Quebec City, inside of the red zone where there's the war between the Blood Family Mafia and the Hells Angels. Let's just see what they caught with this and if we could get any names. And the cities. So the first city name is Val-Bélair. Du Berger Les Sols is the second one. And the third is Trois-Rivières. Or Three River, if you will. And what did they get? It doesn't look promising. 190 units of M&Ms, 14 grams of cane, 3 THC vapes, and 6 cell phones, and $47,000 Canadian cash. And yeah, they did get prohibited taser and the tool, the 9mm tool, you know. The 30-year-old man who was arrested is detained. Blah, blah, blah. You know the rest. Yeah. All right, we're going to go to the next one, guys. Oh, this is the same thing. Okay. It says here that one of the leaders of the rebellion against the Hells Angels inside of the red zone, the Blood Family Mafia, there's Boivin and there's Pic-Turmel. They're both wanted. They're both, I think, $250,000 reward by the government, Bolo, if you give them any information on those two guys. Hells Angels, they're offering twice as much. Okay, so this article is about one of them, Boivin. Look at this. Boivin loses his wings. What do they mean? 7 people arrested. 7 people tied to Boivin, that is. Just going to lower the volume. It's going to blow your ear off.
Autres arrestations chez vous en lien avec le trafic de stupéfiants.
Ici au Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean et sur la côte nord, donc on voit que les policiers...
So here in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean and the North Coast, remember the North Coast? We talked about the North Coast corridor. What did I tell you? That's going to be more along the areas that he was in control of. Saguenay is on the north of Quebec City, which is the red zone is Quebec City, and then you have the outskirts. You drive north a bit, and you're totally different town, Saguenay. And then there's also the North Coast corridor. We talked about that. Now they're made up significant busts over there on those 2 areas.
Là, poursuivent leur travail sur le terrain. Alors cette fois, c'est l'escouade régionale mixte, Jean-François, qui a procédé à l'arrestation de 7 individus. Opération qui s'est déroulée hier matin. Donc ici et sur la côte nord, les individus ont comparu. Et la police relie ces présumés.
The cops tie these suspects to Boivin.
Trafiquants à Boivin, qui est toujours l'un des fugitifs les plus recherchés à travers le Québec et à travers le Canada également. Alors, c'est ça, l'enquête a démontré là, que ces personnes qui ont été arrêtées feraient partie d'une cellule.
Okay, so the investigation in progress will show or demonstrate that these 7 people arrested were part of a cell.
Boivin.
A cell of Boivin.
Dans le trafic de stupéfiants. Donc, ce sont des individus, pour la plupart, dans la
What's up, Nixon?
vingtaine, âgés dans la vingtaine, ont comparu hier sous...
Yeah, you're going to say the same stuff. You know, oh my God, I didn't want to show that on the screen, man. Going to get me dinged.
En 2024.
Look, Nixon, he's wearing blue.
Et à ce moment-là, les agents avaient saisi d'importantes quantités de drogue, entre kilogrammes, 1000 comprimés de méthamphétamine.
All right, we're going to skip this. It's going to be the usual. Let's see if we can save us some time here. Who are the people? So they arrested Simon Legendre, 29, Jordan Plourde, or Jordan Plourde, 24, Nathaniel Gagnon, 28, Antoine Potvin, 28. So you note the ages in the 20 range, and that's it. The youngsters. It's the youngsters working for Boivin. You never get people. You never hear about busts with me covering what's going on, translating it. You never hear me saying, "Oh, you busted a 45-year-old, a 50-year-old, 47, and they're a part of a cell that work for Boivin." It's never that. It's always max 30s. But it's the youngsters, man. but they're not too young. So far, I don't think I've or barely ever read 18, 17. But yeah, no, actually there was a few. I can't say that there was a few, but you see the 20s in here, all of them. Wait a sec. 2 women and one man, aged 28 to 55, were also apprehended. Interesting. We got a 55 in there. Where are we at here? Yeah, same stuff. So they hurt him. Let's see how much did they hurt him? Yeah, they're just saying they're all part of the network. Then we have James Udon. Did I have a James Udon? I didn't remember reading a James Udon here. They're adding some names that were not here. There's a James Udon in there. He was arrested on the 11th of March in the same investigation. So it's multi-bust investigation. He says, so they're talking about there's two searches. So this bust is not solo. 2 weeks before, they had another bust, but it's the same operation, the same storyline, basically. And in that one, it was James Udon. But here's the thing. They're saying, let's remind you that in these 2 searches, or these 2 busts in this one case, led in June 20... Wait a sec. Now they're talking about something completely different. There's another 2 cases, apparently. One in June 2024 and in December 2024. They had put their hands on 4 keys of cane. We must have covered all of this. It's impossible to remember. And got $425,000 in cash. I remember, I think that's the one that we said, oh, that's going to hurt Boivin hard, man. That one was going to hurt. I remember. I think that number was huge like this, you know. That's the only one where I saw multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars seized, you know. That's the one I remember saying that's going to hurt him. They're just giving us a flashback. But here you go, there was more today. But I'm not getting any numbers here that I can easily read. All right, next one. Okay, we coming to a pizzeria, Salvatoré, being set on fire. So it's a criminal fire, but this time it's in a city that's completely unrelated to Montreal. That's an interesting. They're starting to catch the trend all across the province. Last 2 weeks ago, we talked about another place that was burned. It was near Quebec City. And that's not the common occurrence over there. But now you see another one, Saint-Eustache, nothing to do with Montreal City. Montreal City is the town of fire. That's where it's getting burned left and right. Laval, Montreal, North Shore, South Shore, Ville Saint-Laurent, all that, right? But we never hear about Saint-Eustache. Now it's just showing you that this is becoming more common everywhere. See what she's going to tell us. Told you today we had a crazy lot of stuff, man.
Incendie criminel, mais qui touche une entreprise qui a été impliquée dans une controverse récemment. Ça s'est passé à Saint-Eustache, Anne-Sophie. C'est là qu'on te retrouve ce matin. Un restaurant de pizza Salvatoré.
So a restaurant pizza Salvatoré in Saint-Eustache.
Qui a été visé, Anne-Sophie, aux petites heures du matin.
In the early hours.
Oui, c'est un incendie criminel, ça, on peut vous le confirmer. Bon, la scène n'est pas encore totalement traitée, mais on voit que quand même un peu là, de dommages au bâtiment, qu'il y a beaucoup d'eau qui a été envoyée sur le bâtiment, traces d'accélérants qui ont été
So there was traces of accelerants
retrouvées. Ça s'est passé
that were found.
Vers 4 heures ce matin.
It happened at 4 in the morning.
Jean-François, là, les dommages ne semblent pas trop importants, mais
the damages don't seem very important. The firefighters came and they watered the place.
Je parlais avec la personne là, qui gère le terrain ici parce qu'il y a plusieurs entreprises qui me confirment en effet qu'il s'agirait d'un incendie criminel. On attend toujours un retour de la police.
So it's confirmed. They spoke to people, maybe a manager, site manager, whatever, or the neighborhood businesses, and they said that it's definitely a criminal fire.
Pour mieux comprendre les circonstances. Mais oui, restaurant Salvatoré et la polémique sur la culture, est-ce que vraiment ça aurait un lien, tout ça? On se rappelle qu'un des copropriétaires, Guillaume Abatiello, avait remis en question la qualité de la production culturelle québécoise il y a quelques semaines. Ça avait même fait réagir le ministre de la Culture, Mathieu Lacombe. Il s'était excusé là, suite à cette vidéo qui avait beaucoup fait réagir, mais on sait qu'il y avait eu
It's just something about he made a statement that I guess I don't know one of the executives of this franchise. I don't know. He seemed to have made either an executive or somebody else. I'm not too sure. So, or maybe man. I don't know. I didn't really know if I caught who it was, but Someone made a statement online and it caught fire, but it has nothing to do with. They're wondering if it has related to this pizzeria getting burned after. I don't know, man. Just some guy on Twitter or on one of these social medias said something and it caught, controversial.
Beaucoup d'aide, beaucoup de gens qui se demandaient pourquoi dire une telle chose. Mais là, vraiment, il va falloir attendre la suite de l'enquête pour savoir si ça a un lien. Mais on tenait quand même à vous partager ces images en direct là, d'un incendie criminel assez important.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell us much, but for the, I know in Quebec this is a Salvatoré pizza, but I think this is it's a bigger franchise than Quebec. If I'm not mistaken, there's something like this in Ontario. Maybe it's just called Salvatore Pizza. But yeah, we got a law in Quebec where you can't have it in English, but you gotta add that at the end, you know? You gotta do it. It's getting ridiculous. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, we'll go to the next. Read. Oh no, this guy's the word dancer. He's never straightforward. He dances around the words. He talks metaphorically, and you wonder what did he just say. I'll try my freaking best. So, war of stoop fires in Quebec. 2 vehicles set on fire intentionally. I need to remind you, this guy used to be an investigator, detective for the police of Quebec. So he knows the red zone area. He knows criminal gangs. He knows bikers well, you know, and yeah. Now he's selling books and he's trying to get his clout on and all that. So, you know, let's see what he has to say.
Événement qui pourrait être lié à la guerre des stupéfiants hier sur la rive sud de Québec.
Okay, so an event that could be tied to the biker versus street gang wars happened in the South Shore of Quebec City, not Montreal. All right.
Catherine, il y a eu des coups de feu sur une résidence.
Catherine, there was rounds being let off at a residence.
Ouais, et là, je vais juste commencer avec Véronique parce que je viens tout juste d'avoir des informations sur un autre événement, cette fois, cette nuit, du côté dans le secteur de la Haute-Saint-Charles, incendie criminel.
But before we do that, I just want to go to another criminal fire that happened.
Sur des véhicules en feu, donc
on vehicles.
Il n'y a eu heureusement aucune propagation à la résidence.
But there was no, it didn't go to the house. It was contained at the 2 vehicles only.
Et il y a une enquête en cours. Alors,
and there's an investigation currently.
Alors, si on revient aux événements d'hier.
Now, if we do come back to the events of yesterday, which the first announcer was announcing.
Saint-Agapi.
In Saint-Agapi.
Donc, des coups de feu sur une résidence. On est
gunshots were sprayed at a residence.
À la rue Dumont la nuit dernière.
It happened at night.
La nuit dernière, donc des impacts de projectiles.
You could see the impacts right there.
Il y avait personne heureusement dans la résidence.
There was nobody in residence.
Donc personne de blessé. Il n'y a eu aucune arrestation. C'est la deuxième fois en 4 mois que cette résidence. Aucune arrestation. C'est la deuxième fois en 4 mois que.
It's the second time in 4 months that this house was targeted.
Cette résidence est la cible de un événement qui est vraisemblablement lié à la guerre des stupéfiants.
An event that seems to be linked to the stupefire wars.
Il y a également eu un autre incendie suspect sur un véhicule, et là, c'est hier, du côté de Montmagny, les autorités, qui ne fait pas encore lier l'événement.
Now, in Montmagny, there was another event. I'm just sorry about that.
Du côté de Montmagny, les autorités qui ne fait pas encore lier l'événement à la guerre des stupéfiants, mais c'est le modus operandi des gangs de rue. D'ailleurs, il y a un ancien enquêteur du service de police de la ville.
So something I apologize.
Et là, c'est hier, du côté de Montmagny, les autorités. Un événement qui est vraisemblablement lié une fois en 4 mois que cette résidence est la cible de balles. Un événement qui est vraisemblablement lié à la guerre des stupéfiants. Il y a également eu un autre incendie suspect sur.
Okay. So Montmagny, there was another suspicious fire. And if those who don't remember, Montmagny is that other small town that caught one of the biggest news last year, early February-ish, 2024. You remember? One of the 2-3 main events, the most publicized in the media, the biggest ones. You know, if you had to resume the Blood Family Mafia events in 2024, you had to only name 2 or 3 there was an event in Montmagny. I think that's the one. Well, not I think. I'm certain that's one of those where they kicked in a door or they went inside and they held the people inside hostage. That happened 2 or 3 events like that. So I don't know which one of those 3. I don't remember which one of those 3 was. But I do know that Montmagny was the big ones, the ones that made it on the news. Maybe it was the one where they. The guy, remember, he was tied. They beat him. He passed out. They were ransacking his house or whatever, and then he woke up. He fought them, and he managed to escape through the window. But before that, he got the tool from the aggressor, and then he even managed to pump him. And then he got out the window. He ran to the neighbor. I think it might be that one. But it's one of those highlight ones, right? So they're saying that there was a suspicious fire in Montmagny. Small town, these things don't happen. It's not normal, you know. So she says that also happened, and something else happened in Montmagny. It's being investigated.
Un véhicule, et là, c'est hier, du côté de Montmagny, les autorités qui ne fait pas encore lier l'événement à la guerre des stupéfiants, mais c'est le modus operandi.
Dude came in with a... That's a good one, man. We got someone with the username Dave Tillman. That's funny, bro. That's gold. I love jokes like that.
Des gangs de rue.
That's funny.
D'ailleurs, il y a un ancien enquêteur.
He would be the stupidest person in the world if you showed up on the YouTube stream, dude.
Du service de police de la ville de Québec, là,
man,
selon lui, tout est lié justement à cette guerre que
So you see the investigator here who used to investigate these types of crimes in the red zone. He's saying that, listen, they're all related to this gang war.
Les gangs pour que en fait, c'est une concurrence qui se font là, pour les stupéfiants sur le territoire. Il y a au moins 3 gangs d'impliqués.
It says the detective says there's at least 3 gangs implicated in this in these events that are going to be popping up and we'll be reading about that we'll have no answers to. We'll just be saying that it's tied to the Stupefier Wars. Well, you have the detective telling us there's 3 gang names that pop up. Let's see which ones he's going to say. He's got to say Hell's Angels in there. He's got to say Blood Family Mafia. I just need the 3rd name, though.
Dont le Blood Family Mafia, on peut l'entendre.
She just named Blood Family Mafia so far.
Extrêmement forte en ce moment parce que le nouvel ordre
you guys make me laugh.
N'est pas en place. Oui, pendant un certain temps, on a vécu avec les Hells Angels qui supervisent place. Nouvel ordre n'est pas en place.
So, wait. I'm going to translate it to you word for word. But...
En ce moment parce que le nouvel...
Family Mafia,
Sorry
on peut l'entendre.
I apologize.
Extrêmement forte en ce moment parce que le nouvel ordre n'est pas en place.
So the new order, or like the New World Order, like the new order is still not in place.
Oui, pendant un certain temps, on a vécu avec les Hells Angels.
Yes, for a certain time we lived with the Hells Angels.
Qui supervisaient.
That supervised everything.
Tout, qui mettait la pression sur tout le monde.
That would put the pressure on everybody else.
Mais là maintenant,
but now,
il y a un paquet de jeunes nouvelles équipes.
There is a bunch of new younger teams
qui essayent toute la gang de continuer ça.
That are all trying to continue that.
Alors je pense qu'on en a encore pour plusieurs semaines.
So I do think that we will have a lot more of these. More weeks like these.
À vivre ce chaos-là.
To live this chaos there.
Qui est là. Et que on n'a pas besoin de les mettre dans une organisation ou l'autre.
And that we don't need to put them into one organization or another. See what I told you? It makes no sense.
Ils commettent des crimes avec violence.
They commit crimes with violence.
Pour que les policiers puissent intervenir avec la capacité de le faire.
What?
Avec violence, il faut que les policiers puissent intervenir avec la capacité de le
faire. The police must intervene with the right capacity.
Faire en ce moment.
They must have the right capacity to fight them. Okay. Fine. Thank you, sir. What an insight.
Violence.
He should just slip that book he's selling in there.
Qui se multiplie dans notre région, mais également dans la région de Saguenay dans les dernières semaines. D'ailleurs, il y a eu 4 arrestations du côté de Lévis en fin de semaine, 4 individus, dont 2 mineurs.
So 4 individuals were also arrested in the red zone, Lévis. That's red, dead in the middle of it, and one of them's a minor. You know, they use the minors now too. Now, I always scan the article because you saw sometimes that paid off. I'm not going to read word per word, obviously, but I'm going to scan. I just want to make sure. So accelerants on the vehicle, you got that. Well, right now this video had tons of different things they talked about, right? One town, it was a car being set fire. Another town, it was letting rounds off at a house, and he did it twice in the last 4 months. You remember, or something like that? And then when they came back to Montmagny, someone they tried to burn a vehicle or something, or was it a home? They were all over the place, man. So we don't know which one he's talking about here, but you see the accelerant on the vehicle. Oh, they ended really dry here. Okay. Now, oh no, don't tell me this is the same. This is the exact same article, but yeah, same article. Sorry about that. What, another third one is the same article? Man, they give it different names, but it's the same one. No, maybe not, yeah. They're really pushing their friend here. Reminds me of Scott Bernstein, inserts himself. It's the same thing, man. I can't catch anything from him when he talks, though. He's always juggling. He's talking, but he doesn't really say anything. Or he says stuff, it's confusing what he means. Roger Ferland, yes. It says three criminal gangs. So and one of them's the BFM. What is the other two? The Hells Angels in there? Yeah, they're not giving us the name. These violent events are mainly, he says, targeted at showing off their strength, is what he's saying. It's also a warning to other groups of criminals that were not loyal to their organization. Yeah, this is a same story we just saw in the videos. We're not going to continue. Now here, errors on the person accumulate. Remember, we had a guy who got killed in Saguenay not too long ago, or almost killed. He got popped in the abdomen. Remember, it just keeps happening. A situation that happened multiple times already since the beginning of this conflict between the Hells Angels and BFM. He says these are contracts that are given to youngins with no experience, and many times there's improvisation in there. And then mistakes on the target, so they get the wrong person. Yeah, we know this. Now, they're saying that rounds were... just a sec. Now, there was another investigation that's still in progress in Saguenay. Again, we go back to Saguenay, where suspects are wanted. They're looking for people in link with a shooting that happened on a Monday on a vehicle. An immobilized vehicle close to a residence in Shipshaw. The police of Shipshaw confirm having identified the vehicle on which the shooting took place. So the vehicle of the suspects, guys. They found the vehicle of the suspects. Probably they stole the car. It was they were looking for the car, the cops. Then the suspects ditched that car, right? They ditched the car, and they're still wanted because, yeah, they didn't use their own car, or they'd be arrested already. They would be named here, at the very least, wanted and all that, while they'd be on the run, right? So that means that they stole the car, and they ditched it. And that's why the cops are confirming that they got the car right now. They know which car was used. Basically, it was abandoned, guys. I said, let us remind us that gunshots were sent off Saturday morning at a little grocery store, this little mini grocery store, mom and pop's place, it looks like. 2 men were arrested for this one. Man, it just keep going, huh? Yeah, here's the summary. There you go. It gives us 18. So remember, it was so confusing earlier, or the previous article here. Here's the summary to unmix us. This is all the same region. It looks like 18th of March. Gunshots on a residence in Saint-Agapi. We mentioned that in the previous. 18th of March, same day, a vehicle was set on fire. Okay, Montmagny, right? Now, the day before that, the 17th of March, gunshots on a vehicle in Shipshaw, the one we just said where they found the vehicle abandoned, who did it. Then the day, I don't know why they're going in reverse order. Now, the day even before that, two violations on a home. I don't know what that means, but they went to a house they went with hammers. I don't know what that means. They broke in, they beat the guy up. I don't know. I guess that's what it means. Not sure. And then the day before that, gunshots at this grocery store here. So that's pretty crazy. That 5 days in a row. All right, so that shooting in Saguenay that was just mentioned over here, I think is in Shipshaw, right? What is that about? There's a video. We can actually see it. This is the most important one in my opinion. It's in the rebellion. The guy who's the leader of the rebellion, Boivin's territory. That's where this shooting happened. So it's the most important one for me. Let's see what they say or what they can show.
Alors, au Saguenay, il y a eu des coups de feu à 2 reprises depuis samedi et c'est la guerre que...
So in Saguenay, there was gunshots twice in Saguenay since Saturday or something like this. Sorry, man, it's so difficult.
2 reprises depuis samedi.
Okay, yeah, it says since Saturday, twice it happened. Now, this article is on the 17th of March. So literally since Saturday, this Saturday that we just had, twice there was events in Saguenay.
Et c'est la guerre que se livrent des groupes criminels pour
And it's a war that are delivering criminal groups to each other.
le contrôle des stupéfiants.
For the control of
Qui est
stupefires.
une fois de plus en cause. David Alexandre, il y a un déploiement policier d'ailleurs qui est toujours en cours.
So there's a police deployment that is still in progress.
Oui, absolument. Dans l'arrondissement de Shipshaw, un secteur qui est situé en périphérie du centre-ville de Saguenay.
So Shipshaw it's in Saguenay. It's not in the downtown, but it's a neighborhood nearby.
Des coups de feu ont été tirés sur une résidence peu avant 8 heures ce matin.
The gunshots were raised at a home a little bit before 8 a.m.
Ça s'est fait à partir d'un véhicule qui était en mouvement. Bon,
It happened the shooting came from a vehicle that was moving.
Il y a un important déploiement policier qui s'en est suivi. Ce véhicule a été retrouvé abandonné, donc il n'y avait personne à l'intérieur.
It was found abandoned. There was nobody inside of it.
Présentement, il y a une opération de recherche qui est menée. On a demandé également l'assistance de la Sûreté du Québec. Il y a plusieurs points de contrôle qui ont été établis un peu
The usual, they're blocking off roads.
partout dans la région, notamment à la sortie de Shipshaw, mais également à la sortie de la réserve phonique des Laurentides. Il y a des agents qui contrôlent les automobilistes et qui sont à la recherche d'un ou plusieurs suspects. Heureusement,
They're looking for one or many suspects. I do find it funny that this car got egged. What the heck?
cherche d'un ou plusieurs suspects.
So they stole a car that had eggs on it.
Heureusement, dans ces coups de feu, personne n'a été blessé, mais ça inquiète dans le secteur puisqu'il n'y a toujours pas eu d'arrestation depuis les dernières heures.
L'enquête est toujours en cours.
Yeah, I'm always skip when these guys talk because they just say the obvious. Let's see what people say.
C'est pas drôle, là.
It's
pas
not funny.
facile. Ils s'arrêtent de les payer, puis ils sont pas bons pour les payer. Ils ont trouvé le char, mais ils n'ont pas trouvé d'autre chose.
They just found the car. They didn't find nobody.
Les gangs de rue sont unstoppable, et...
The street gangs, they are they're unstoppable. look how he says.
Les gangs de rue sont unstoppable, et tu veux faire, sont de plus en plus fous.
C'est un catin.
Oh, that was funny, man. Oh shit! Now he says they're freaking crazy, man. Oh, that was gold. That was gold. Just look at the face, man.
Les gangs de rue sont unstoppable, et tu veux faire, sont de plus en plus fous.
C'est un catin. Ouais. Ça m'inquiète.
Oh, I'm worried. Don't worry, Granny. They won't touch you.
L'autre événement, Philippe Vincent, qui implique des coups de feu est survenu samedi, cette fois dans l'arrondissement de La Terrière. Par contre, il y a 2 individus dans ce cas-ci qui ont été...
Now they're going to the grocery store incident, okay? Because there was 2 shootings in Saguenay, so...
arrêtés. Ils ont comparu hier dans ce cas-ci qui ont été arrêtés hier. Par contre, il y a 2 individus dans ce cas-ci
okay, they arrested 2 people here.
qui ont été arrêtés. Ils ont comparu hier sous motif de tentative de meurtre. Il y a une victime qui a été gravement blessée. Les coups de feu ont été tirés à l'extérieur puis à l'intérieur de l'épicerie du village. Donc, vous comprendrez que depuis les dernières heures, il y a des employés qui sont sous le choc.
Yeah, we're gonna skip this.
Entre le tireur puis celui qui s'est fait tirer.
So these are employees at this grocery store. Says between the shooter and the person that got shot.
Il y a une dame qui sortait avec ses commissions.
There was a woman leaving with her groceries.
Puis elle était comme entre les deux.
And she was literally dead in the middle between the 2.
Personne. Puis ça a fait en sorte que le tireur a retardé son tir.
And that's what made the shooter take more time. That's what slowed him down.
Environ 1 seconde, 2.
For like 1 or 2, and added an extra 1 or 2 seconds. So the guy was nice. He didn't try to shoot the grandma. He was trying to he's trying to spare her from getting damaged.
2 secondes. Puis moi, je pense que c'est ce qui a sauvé la vie du jeune homme, là, parce qu'au lieu de recevoir les balles
And he says, and I think that's what saved the young man's life.
de face, il les a reçus dans le...
It's because it gave him time to turn around, I think he said. And instead of getting them directly in his torso from the front, he received the rounds from the side.
Côté. Il est venu se réfugier dans le magasin.
And then he came to refuge himself inside of this grocery store.
Le tireur l'a suivi.
And the shooter followed him.
Là, il a tiré encore 1 ou 2 balles.
And then he shot an extra 1 or 2 rounds.
Là.
Ah ouais.
On ne sait pas par contre, Philippe Vincent.
Yeah, the dude who's telling this, he looks amused, he looks entertained by all this, man.
Il se réfugier dans le magasin.
Look at how it's
Le tireur
entertaining
l'a
to him.
suivi. Là, il a tiré encore 1 ou 2 balles. Là.
On ne sait pas par contre, Philippe Vincent, si les événements de samedi sont liés avec ceux qui sont survenus ce matin, mais on l'a entendu, le 5
He was just watching a movie, that guy.
On comprend. Merci, David.
He's boring small town, and he's happy to be part of it. He's just happy to be part of it, man. But I'm just kidding. All right, next one. Incendie suspect. Oh yeah, we did this. This literally zooming into that Montmagny thing when they burned the vehicle, right? And we know it's all part of this. It's all happening one after the other. Oh man, yeah, it's the same. It's the same. We're gonna let go of that, and then this is the shopping one. Shopping, yeah. We just spoke to the guy inside. You know, he's the best at commentating on the. Oh look, we got more from him, man. Look at the smile. He's smiling, man. What the hell? Okay, all right. Let's listen to him. So he's gonna say he was laying down. He was laying or something like that.
Le gars était étendu là dans le fond.
The guy was laying down here. Practically.
Les employés de l'épicerie de quartier à la Terrière, l'Intermarché, se remettent de leurs émotions. Vers 9h45
At approximately 9:45 Saturday,
samedi, un homme a été criblé de balles dans
a man was crippled with bullets
le commerce.
Inside of the commerce.
2 coups de feu auraient été tirés à l'extérieur du commerce. Le
Two rounds were let go outside of the commerce.
tireur attendait la victime.
Because the shooter was waiting for the victim.
L'homme s'est ensuite réfugié à l'intérieur où
Then he ran inside to refuge himself.
il aurait reçu 2 autres
where he received 2 other ones.
projectiles.
Il y a une dame qui sortait avec ses commissions.
We saw this. I'm not going to make you watch it twice, man. Sorry. Because I kept rewinding.
Tire d'environ 1 seconde, 2 secondes. Puis moi, je pense que c'est ce qui a sauvé la vie du jeune homme, là, parce qu'au lieu de recevoir les balles de face, il les a reçues dans le côté.
Heureusement, personne d'autre n'a été blessé.
C'est notre
Thankfully, no one else was injured.
crainte, c'est les dommages collatéraux, des balles perdues. Il aurait pu tirer comme un fou. Puis
Yeah, the thing is collateral damage. You know, this guy could have shot like a maniac.
atteindre des employés,
And hit employees if he wanted to.
atteindre des clients, ça aurait été dramatique, là, ça aurait été horrible.
That would have been horrible. Well, clearly it wasn't. The guy had a heart. He was not. You know, you got to somehow thank the guy. You know, if he's watching. If you're watching, man. Did they arrest? Did I say they arrested the guys for this one? I can't remember. They don't seem to mention it right now. Or you see how bad my memory is. I don't remember if they said they arrested him. But if he's watching, man, you know, at least you didn't. You were trying to be careful. That's good, man.
Le tireur a pris la fuite. La victime, un homme de la Terrière, a été
Yeah, he says that the guy who did it did escape, so he ran.
blessé gravement.
But the target was hurt gravely.
Mais on ne craint pas pour sa vie.
But he's not. It's not a mortal wound. He's not gonna die. He's gonna survive.
Des barrages et de la surveillance ont été érigés par les policiers. Les suspects ont été arrêtés.
No, they arrested the suspects after.
Peu de temps après, Pascal Laliberté, 44 ans,
Pascal Laliberté, 44 years old.
de Mirabel,
De Mirabel. Wow, dude came from far, man. Is it the same Mirabel? Wow, dude went far as hell, man, to do this crime, man. Man, these are not neighbors, man. This guy's in Mirabel. Mirabel is north of Montreal. If that's the Mirabel that I know. He came from Mirabel to go to Saguenay. Damn, son. Everybody works for Boivin these days.
et Albert Lefebvre, 19 ans, de Saint-Jérôme.
Et Albert Lefebvre de Saint-Jérôme. Yeah, he got them from other places, man.
Ont comparu au cours de la fin de semaine. Ils font face à des chefs d'accusation de tentative de meurtre et de voies de fait graves.
They get the usual charges.
La vie reprend tranquillement à l'épicerie locale qui assure qu'elle n'a rien à voir avec le conflit armé.
Complètement isolé, c'est ça. C'est cette personne-là qui était ciblée. Là. C'est pas au hasard.
The guy who was targeted, well, it's not purely coincidence, or how do you say hasard? I don't know how you say this, man. It's not by chance. It's not by chance.
Le commerce a rouvert ses portes dimanche.
They reopened the next day. You gotta make that moolah in a capitalistic society.
Du soutien psychologique a été offert aux employés témoins des événements. La cliente impliquée a aussi été contactée.
C'est une bonne cliente depuis 26 ans. Puis je l'ai retrouvée, puis je l'ai appelée pour savoir comment est-ce qu'elle allait.
I was a client for like at least 25 or she said 26 years of it, 26 years, their clients here. So yeah, I called the client to see how they're doing.
C'est sûr qu'elle était complètement chamboulée.
Of course, she was completely dysregulated.
Là, je l'ai référée à notre psychologue qui m'avait laissé son numéro de téléphone.
So I referred her to our psychologist who came here, I guess. They left her calling card.
Elle l'a appelé.
And she called him.
Ça y a fait du bien, là.
Une vague d'amour s'est déferlée sur les réseaux sociaux du commerce. De nombreux clients ont réitéré leur soutien.
He got tons of support online, social media, all that.
Quand tu es bien servi, tu es bien accueilli, tu continues à faire affaire avec les gens.
When you're well received and you're treated well and you keep going back to that same business.
C'est pas de sa faute, là.
It's not his fault that happened,
C'est juste un concours de circonstances.
It's just a circumstance.
Ça arrive pas tous les jours, hein?
It doesn't happen every day, huh?
Ça arrive une fois de temps en temps.
It happens once in a while.
Sébastien, c'est un gars fort sympathique. Puis
grandma's gangster. She don't mind.
On l'encourage.
Le service de police de Saguenay a confirmé lundi que la fusillade est reliée à la guerre pour le contrôle.
What's wrong with that town?
Du trafic de stupéfiants. F. Beauregard, TVA Nouvelles, Saguenay.
Yeah, any excuse to laugh, boys. I enjoy it. That was fun. That was good. Good to see those people. I entertained myself. You guys entertain me too. Make me laugh. Seeing you guys joke around. That's it. We had a marathon. I hope you enjoyed it. Had good laughs with me. Don't want to take too long. Well, I always do that, though. But let me give a shout-out. Make it a little bit longer, huh? Sleeping Joe, shout-out to you. Gagnon Alain, shout-out to you. DJ, thank you. Mr. Green Thumb from Ottawa, hello. Where are we at here? Zachary, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thank you, Zachary. Thanks for being here with us, man. I appreciate the company, man. And Anthony Serrano, from America down south. What's up, pal? He's a good guy, He's a good guy. Thanks for being with us, man. Always happy to have you with us, bud. And I liked when I saw you fishing the other day, man, in the cold and on that boat and trying to catch fish and stuff. I think that's pretty cool, bro. That's awesome. And who else we got? GX, what's up, GX? GX, I saw you in one of the videos, comments for Iron Sheik. I always look at Iron Sheik's videos to have a little bit of laugh. Dude is funny, man. Rest in peace, Iron Sheik. Sheiky baby. And Nixon, what's up, Nixon? What up, cuz? And funny. Shout out to Dave Sommel over here. Oh man, you guys are good. I love it. Bring the jokes. Fly High, what's up, buddy? How you doing, Fly High? Welcome back, buddy. Big Lock Joker, what up, dude? What's up, my man? And what else we got left here? I think I got everyone. Did I? Oh, DC, man. I almost missed. How did I miss DC? He says, I got a $77 parking lot ticket from a company that can tell someone who cares. Never giving them time. Yeah, man. They all, man, life is, it's hard to make money, man. It takes all day. How could you just go and take someone's blood, sweat, and tears all day, man? Tickets should be like, who would want to pay a $20 ticket? Who would want to do that? Is anyone going to say, oh, give me more? No one's going to do that. 20 is enough. 15 is enough. But when you try to start taking people's whole day livelihood, it doesn't make sense. You're not the only one who's trying to steal from whatever I got left. It's crazy, man. They need to calm down with the tickets, man. Man, all we get is bad news bills and things like this, man. Where are we? Did I get everybody else? What else does he say? I'll always try to read all of them. The Canadian military works with the RCMP and the criminals networks to distribute the stupefiers and the tools. The banning of tools raises the price on the streets. True. So it's good for business, not a coincidence, all by design. And Anthony says, the tools never lose value. Wortman had an RCMP cop car. Oh, Bernita Tom, I almost missed. Hello, Bernita. Oh, René Lévesque. I almost missed that as well, bud. How are you, René Lévesque? They cost a lot more on the street after Wortman turned Nova Scotia into a war zone. I think you sent me the story about Wortman like a year or 2 years ago, DC. Was that the guy? Memory's bad, but I remember you sent me something about something like this in Nova Scotia. I think it was Nova Scotia. Mr. J, what's up, buddy? Yeah, enjoy it, bud. Mr. J, salute to Mr. J. And I appreciate it, Anthony. DC says, Israel caught spying on Canadians with the help of OPP. Aye, guys, mille chemins, 1,000 roads. Shout out to 1,000 roads. I like the name. Mille chemins. That's a nice name. I might start writing parking tickets and give them to my neighbors. Yeah. They're not going to like you anymore, man. It's not good, bud. It's nothing more uncomfortable than being surrounded by enemies in your own home, man. That sucks. Trust me, I had that once. You know? Yeah, if you live in the wrong neighborhood, you can have shit like this. You have to worry about shit like this, bud. Oh, man. And salute to everybody. Thank you for joining, and all the quiet people, too. Hope you had some entertainment value in there and some informational value. You know, thanks for coming and laughing with us. I appreciate it. Thank you. And have a great evening, everybody. Shout out to everybody.